Shalom. Ma nishma. What do you hear? If you answered it's time for Hebrew, Tov me'od. It certainly is Ivrit on the Torah Club. The name of this week's portion is Beha'alotcha, which means, in your making, go up. Turn with me to page 36, and let's begin our study today by dissecting the name of our Torah portion. You will notice the name of this portion begins with the Hebrew letter Bet. Do you remember what that means? If you said in, you're correct. A bet at the beginning of any Hebrew word means the word in. Next we have the Hebrew letter He, which means the. We can already see in breaking this word down that the first two sounds, Beha, mean in the. Next we have Ain, Lamed, and Tav. Alot. Alot means to go up or rise up. And then we close out the word with the Chaf Sofit, Cha. The Cha at the end of Beha'alotcha means you. It is a pronoun. Remember last week we learned that a Tav and a Mem Sofit together mean theirs? Well, here we have the Chaf Sofit, which means you. So, repeat with me the name of the Torah portion. Beha'alotcha. Good. See, it wasn't quite as frightening as it first seemed, was it? Let's move right along into Numbers chapter 8, verses 1 and 2. I'm going to read the verses, and you can follow along in your Torah scroll from your book. Let's begin. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור. דבר על אהרון ואמרת אליו, בהעלותך את הנרות אל מול פני המנורה. יאירו שבעת הנרות. Did you recognize any words in that verse? If you recognized menorah, good for you, menorah. Or what about nerot? Every Friday when we say the Sabbath prayer and we kindle the Sabbath nerot, we say the blessing in Hebrew. Hopefully you were able to recognize that word, nerot. It can mean candles, lights, or even in this case, it means lamps. Please repeat after me. We'll go line by line through the verses of Beha'alotcha. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור. דבר על אהרון ואמרת אליו. בהעלותך את הנרות. אל מול פני המנורה. יאירו שבעת הנרות. Our literal translation: The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and say to him, In your making, go up the lamps toward the area at the face of the menorah. Will give light the 7 lamps. Let's look quickly at our related words. I don't have time to read all of them for this lesson, but there are a few that I would like to emphasize. To begin, the word Allah, to ascend, to go up. It's a verb. It's the verb from which we get the word aliyah. Have you ever heard of aliyah? Aliyah is the Hebrew term coined for those from among the nations who come up to live in Jerusalem, who come up to make Israel their dwelling place. In doing this, in attaining Israeli citizenship, the process is called Aliyah. One who has gone up is called an Oleh. Next we have the words Allah Ba'esh or Oleh. And Allah Ba'esh is something going up in flames, to go up in flames. It's talking about the burnt offering, the Olah. In closing, let us look at the final word which describes our God, Elyon. Elyon means highly exalted, magnified, lifted up. My prayer as your Hebrew teacher in the Torah Club is that your study of the original language of the Torah would bring you closer to El Elyon, the highly exalted God. Many blessings as you study, and I'll speak to you next week. Lehitorot.